What is up, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Before I get started with tonight's review of Friday Night Smackdown, I would like to first start off by giving a couple of shout outs. First off, to Janet Jones and Brian Odell, and to everyone else who has helped me reach 270. I really appreciate that. I do not take that lightly. Also, before we get started, we're not we it's the 13th, and it is the 13th. We're 13 days into the new year, and it's already crazy. Stephanie McMahon resigns after her and her husband disagreed with the sales that rumor has they're giving to Saudi Arabia. But I don't know why Vince wants to sell WWE. I don't get that at all. This is not the same Vince that made the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, in my personal opinion. I think something different is going on. I don't know. But in any event, a lot of people are not happy, and there are superstars threatening to walk out. But in any event, Steph and Triple H did not agree with the sales, and Stephanie resigned. And also, I wish her speedy recovery because for whatever reason, she injured her ankle. And also, Samantha Irvin and Ricochet are engaged. That's awesome. Congratulations to them. Today is also what would be the birthday of Shad Gaspar, a true hero who lost his life trying to save his own. It's heartbreaking, but God rest his soul, and thoughts and prayers to the widow and his son, who is still here with us. He went into the Hall of Fame last year. So, that being said, let's get into tonight's review of Friday Night SmackDown with an opening match, which to me was a dream match between Braun Strowman and Walter. And for those of you who are new to this channel, I like to call him Walter instead of that other G word because it's just, to me, there's a little controversy behind that. So, I prefer to him as Walter. And this match in the opening did not disappoint at all. We saw the best of Braun Strowman. We saw the first of all Braun Strowman dedicating those Green Bay shoes to that kid who to the young man who was lost in a tragic incident a few couple of years ago. Very heartwarming. Also, this match, pretty good match. Strowman obviously had his left arm targeted. We also saw Imperium interfere in the match, but they got wiped out. We saw a power slam from Braun Strowman, which wasn't done to the complete fullest that I think he would like, but nonetheless, that happened. We saw Walter do his body splash, which usually puts people away, but not this time. But it took a power bomb with a little bit of assist used from the corner. And he didn't get all of that power bomb, in my personal opinion. But nonetheless, Walter actually defeated Braun Strowman fair and square in what was a pretty good match, in my personal opinion. In small news, Rey Mysterio declares he's going to be in the Royal Rumble match. Didn't have the best holidays. He's going to be in the Royal Rumble. And while to him, um, it breaks his heart as a father. As a man, he says he's tired of the crap. But to me, him acting like a thug may break his father's heart. But to me, Simp Mysterio acting like a thug makes me laugh. I'm just saying, it makes me laugh. It's Dominic acting like he done been through something just because he was on a scared straight program for less than 16 hours. They should have took him there. And, well, he was a good kid, I think. But him acting like a thug just makes me laugh. Just really does. Also, also, Karrion Cross comes in and disrupts the whole thing, cuts a promo, gets in Ray's head. Ray tries to go for the 619, but Scarlett's there, and then he gets choked out. They're going to have a match next week. But with Rey Mysterio entering the Royal Rumble, come on. Dominic's going to enter the Royal Rumble soon, and eventually, this is going to build us up for Rey Mysterio versus Simp Mysterio at WrestleMania 39. The only question is, which night will it be? And their home state of California. So I'm rooting for Rey Mysterio all the way. I'm just saying, I don't know who's gonna win, but I'd be rooting for Rey Mysterio. And it's so interesting. There's a whole list of people who say they are not gonna fight you at WrestleMania. They do. Undertaker said, "For I will never fight my own flesh and blood. I will never fight Kane." And eventually gets pushed over the edge. Jeff Hardy says he wasn't going to fight his brother. Eventually he does. So Rey Mysterio is going to fight his own son at WrestleMania. I'm betting on it. But moving forward, after the chokeout, we have a SmackDown short, which is not something that happens often, between Xia Li and Tegan Knox, in which Tegan Knox, speaking of Kane, Lady Kane, Tegan Knox is a huge Kane fan, would go on to win that match in a very short fashion. And Xia Li's frustrations continue. And the Raiders are going to face off against Drew and Sheamus next week. And legend has it that Sheamus and Drew are still chanting banger after banger after banger after banger. When the rapture comes, they'll still be chanting that. But in any event, we need a new name. I think Drew and Sheamus would make a great tag team, but we need a name for Drew and Sheamus. Or maybe it's just going to have to be Drew and Sheamus, because whatever that was they called themselves last week, that's not the best one. Some of you saw what they called themselves. They called themselves the. Never mind. We need a new name, just not that one you're thinking of, because that one is the name of something, an inappropriate channel. But in any event, moving forward, that was an awesome. I was expecting more from Bray Wyatt because today is Friday the 13th, but we didn't get much from Bray Wyatt tonight. But we got a message that the Bray of old is coming back. He's here. Wisconsin, we're here. But darn it, the thing stole. I just thought I'd do that for fun. But in any event, we got another match. We have Liv versus Raquel, and this all started when Liv slapped Raquel, and they had a match tonight. And Liv showed her crazy side, bashing her head on the turnbuckle like Haku did in that tag match with Rikishi and Haku versus the Brothers of Destruction on that episode of Raw in '01. But tonight we had those two face off, and Liv, as great as she was at first, she made the mistake of getting a table out, and that gave Raquel time to recover, and not only recover, but go for that Tamahata bomb and that pinfall that Rhea Ripley likes to do. So Rhea does that little pinfall thing almost every time. Raquel does it occasionally. But moving forward, Sonya wants Charlotte, and they fight backstage. And I think they're going to put these guys in the Royal Rumble match against each other, like Charlotte versus Sonya for the WWE Smackdown Women's Championship, because obviously that's the thing going on. But now Rousey's taking time off. It's interesting. Every time a SmackDown Women's Champion loses a championship, they take time off. Moving on to this main event, we have Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. First off, Sami Zayn was supposed to fight alone, and obviously it's supposed to be tough love, in my personal opinion, as set to be. And then you have Kevin Owens. No handshakes and no sleeping. Let me tell you guys something. First of all, for those of you who did not see my community post, One of the most famous moments of the week that everyone is talking about is Kevin Owens sleeping on the turnbuckle post while JBL runs his mouth. Now, let's be honest. Every time JBL runs his mouth, I just go to snoring. Just for real. Well, now that everyone's awake, let's go forward. It was a good match. It really was a great match tonight. We saw the old Sami Zayn. We saw a piece of the old Sami Zayn with him doing that running dive senton over the top rope. And Kevin Owens, let's just acknowledge the fact that Kevin Owens took two reverse suplexes on the back of his neck and is still, if his neck is not injured in any way, that is a miracle because these guys really do put their bodies on the line. I know people say wrestling is just entertainment, but these guys put themselves on the line just like the football players. And thankfully, Damar Hamlin is getting better. But in any event, back to wrestling, all those three reverse suplexes on the back of his neck, it's a miracle he's still here. But one of them, he came back from that reverse suplex to give a clothesline, which was awesome. Great frog splash from Kevin Owens, as well as that brainbuster superplex that he did also. A great blue thunder bomb from Sami Zayn. And it was just so great. The match was great. I got mad, but I'm a little bit upset. I'm going to tell you why I'm upset. Because the Usos ruined the whole darn thing. The match was awesome. The match was awesome. The match was awesome, and Sami Zayn the Usos ruined it. The bloodline, with the exception of Roman Reigns, ruined it. They ruined it. You ruined it. You ruined it, darn it. You ruined it. You remember when Mr. McMahon did that during that Stone Cold Mike Tyson confrontation? That was a good Mr. McMahon. Well, he was a villain at the time, but at least he wasn't like what he is. It's almost like some might say he's becoming a bit of an off-screen villain now. But you ruined it. You ruined it. Bloodline, darn it. You ruined it. The match was awesome. They opened up the show with a great match, and they ended the show with a good match. And then the Usos came in and destroyed Kevin Owens. And even Sami Zayn is looking like, what the helicopter is going on here? Nonetheless, they wiped out Kevin Owens and put him through the table. And even Sammy's like, okay, thank you. What the heck is going on? Eventually, I could be wrong, but for a second, I'm starting to think eventually Sami Zayn might snap and become enemies with the bloodline, and Kevin Owens and Sami might come together. I don't know. Who's to say? Or maybe Sami might stay honorary Uso or Sami Uso, but that was not Usi at all. In my personal opinion, that wasn't Usi one bit. That was a great match, and y'all ruined it. Why? Why? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. That's all the time I have for you today, and I'll be back with another review on all things wrestling. Peace.